arriving with the boys Hank, Deimos, and Sanford. We are faced with our first combat encounter with a gang of agents and engineers.
We trained for this. Prepare to engage. I guess today I will be doing the hit the car challenge. So basically, when I see a car coming, I will roll this rock down to hell, and hope something cool will happen so we can get views. Look! A truck is coming quickly!
Great. Our truck was destroyed by a bunch of homeless TikTokers. Deimos is down, so Hank is out on his adventure, while he leaves Sanford to take care of Deimos. Madness Project Nexus is a sequel to Madness Project Nexus. Finally, we get to play as the killer machine Hank J. Wimbleton. From the cartoons made in the early 2000s, Hank has a psychotic episode where he eliminates 32 people because a guy played a song that he didn't like on the boombox. Then an entire organization gets created just to kill Hank. So Hank decides to single-handedly destroy the state of Nevada. Hank is now tasked with the mission to destroy the Nexus Core to save Nevada or something, even though Hank is currently the most wanted man alive and everyone wants him dead on sight. Enter a building, our objective is to shut off power that is coming from the security station. We meet this old guy named Rich. Rich is a minor character that appears in the Madness series. Rich has never been seen physically in the canon Madness cartoons, only on a poster in Madness Combat 2 Redeemer.
Are you here to finally take over my job? I've been working here for 30 years, and I haven't seen my family for 29 years. Thank you, kind sir, for letting me retire and live the rest of my life.
I need to shut down the power in this place. How do I do that?
I mean, this is my life's work, and if you shut the power down, all my work will be destroyed, and my life would have basically amounted to nothing. But since I don't work here anymore, the switch is right behind me.
After we turn off the power, we are attacked by more agents and engineers. We arrive at the gates to Nexus City. The sheriff throws us his massive contraption.
Oh no! You want not getting through in your head!
The sheriff throws us his massive contraption. The Mag Bandit has 3 phases. He picks you up and pummels you into the fucking pavement. The second phase, he grabs a pile of scrap and garbage and throws them at you. His last phase, he grabs a lamppost from the ground and uses it as a weapon. But it's okay, you just hit him a bunch and he dies. The sheriff shows off how much of an alpha male he is by running away, of course. Cut to a flashback of Jebus, also known as Jebediah Kristoff, one of the main antagonists and protagonists of the Madness series. We are walking through Nexus City. Jebus is supposed to meet up with the sheriff, but first I have to get to important business. Beating the shit out of NPCs. I could just do this, I can't kill them at all, I could just keep beating the NPCs for no reason, instead of actually playing the game. Anyways, focus. We are now posted up with the sheriff. Jebus talks to the sheriff about his concerns with Director Phobos, the main antagonist of the game. Director Phobos is the corrupt head of Project Nexus and the dictator of Nexus City. Jebus presents that they can both take down Director Phobos together by getting Nexus City citizens to turn on Phobos to join their cause. The sheriff agrees. We are back to the actual game, and this time we play as Sanford and Deimos. We raid a warehouse and meet up with new enemies, which are the mercs. First, we got the recruits. They are not competent at combat whatsoever, often come equipped with weapons such as handguns and revolvers. The merc laborer, they aren't really good at combat either, but are slightly stronger because of their bulletproof suit. That's not really bulletproof at the same time. After getting through the warehouse, we have our next boss fight, Chruch and Jorge, who are dressed like TikTok alt girls, but are somehow even more obnoxious with their fashion statements. is annoying. I know he makes sure to get his cardio in daily. He can run at high speeds even though he's like twice the size of like most of the enemies in this game. He can trample you with his running, and he can also jump to great heights, which also tramples you, which stuns you, leaving you susceptible to a takedown. Jorge is also annoying. Like, he just sits back on the ledge sniping at you, which deals a lot of damage, while also having the previous enemies in the warehouse attack you. I got Jorge's weapon, but too bad, I used it all on the enemies before I got to the next level. These are the Merc Snipers. They stand on a high ledge, like Jorge, and stun you if you can't dodge their attacks. You have to throw a grenade to kill them. For some reason, this took me so long to figure out. But if you beat the sniper on ground level, they're like one of the weakest characters ever.
Hey boys. It's kinda hard to breathe in this suit, but you boys are going down.
Yeah, nobody asked. We're gonna need you to unlock the transit network, Chief.
No.
The sheriff shows us how much of a dominant man he is by letting his two dick riders do all the work while he hides behind a box. When I drop a crate on his ass, going after the sheriff, he is hiding behind barriers. We have to place C4s to blow his hiding place up. Something CSGO, also known as Counter-Strike, gunning down my oppositions because holy shit, I hate these chickens, which shamelessly steal 9 years prior to the release of this game. Sanford and Deimos demand the sheriff open up the transit network. The sheriff says nah, so we proceed to beat the shit out of him. The sheriff finally opens up the transit network so we can get further into destroying the Project Nexus. We take a roller coaster into Tilted Towers. We meet the survivors. There are bandits who survived the fall of Nexus City and now inhabit the sewers and rooftops of the residential sector. Sanford and Deimos walk in on the bandit brute, ordering the two survivors to make him dinner for his epic mukbang channel. Zombies, or Zeds. These things can grab you, and you have to destroy your keyboard to get them off. These weirdos have a touching problem, and it needs to be put on an offenders list. We step outside, and there are these sensors that alert the zombies when we are near it. My favorite thing about this game is definitely the brain dead AI. Wow, thanks for the assistant, Deimos.
No way. Was that Gil?
I mean, that's what it says on his name tag.
Today we found out the actual Krabby Patty formula, and it was made Jeffrey Dahmer style. We are fighting against Mr. Krabs' favorite cook, Gustavo Fring. He throws his patties he made alongside the only motivator he has in his life. He spins the butcher knife, he gets mad, and he does the cringy anime run everyone used to do back in like 2016. I'm so sorry, Gil Sanchez. Rest in trans fat. Next, we transfer into the weirdest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode.
I am back.
Bro, who the fuck even are you again? He kinda does the same thing as the first time, but this time he has unlocked a special ability. He is able to spawn down infinite ceiling debris, but he still dies after you hit him a bunch of times. After this, Chruch and Jorge are also back for some more ass beating, but with slightly stronger armor. Chruch continues to use the same electrified gloves from the last battle, but Jorge has a flamethrower and is also equipped with a giant shield. The big ass overpowered weapon wasn't enough. It cuts to a flashback. Dr. Hoffner helps Jebus sneak into Director Phobos' building. Christoph has his license revoked from working there, so he must not be caught. Jebus crawls up a window and quickly installs something funny on the computer. Hello guys, Hank J. Wimbleton here. I tried going past this place and I got gunned down by turrets. I'm actually supposed to leap over the counter to not trigger the sensor. This game is about nonsensical slaughter, not a game where I have to use my brain. This game gets a 1 out of 10 for this mechanic. This level is set in a mental asylum, where I kill mentally ill patients and their caretakers, who are clearly mentally ill as well. Their attack is injecting a syringe into you that contains herobrine, but just replace the word herobrine with heroin. What is the actual point of this asylum? Just tell me what mental disorders these people have that every single character in this game doesn't have. We are looking for Dr. Hoffner, but along the way we meet up with Jebus. We get into a gunfight with Jebus. But Jebus also surprisingly has very bad motor skills, so he couldn't land any of his hits, so I defeated him. Jebus realizes Hank is also here to destroy Project Nexus, so we team up together and head to Dr. Hoffner, who is now transformed into a zombie clown.
Hey you're coming with us. We're going to destroy the Project Nexus.
No, I want to play a game.
We don't have time for games, we have a world to save.
I have waited so long for someone to come around here and play with me.
I got games on my phone.
Fuck your fun games, Christoph.
This boss fight is total chaos. Tricky sends wave of asylum patients and pharmacists, filled with fire, laser beam traps, trap doors. Every single round, more and more floors are disappearing, falling into the abyss.
Tricky, we play your game. Now you're going to kill us. What the hell is wrong with you?
You two were winning. You must have been cheating. It's not fair.
Never mind, Tricky saved us, because he didn't want the agents to kill us. He wanted to preserve the kill for himself. I mean, after that, he just kinda got bored and told us a secret passage into the science tower. What a nice man. We arrived at the deep storage, and I got this cool looking hammer. This hammer sucks. These are the unfinished mags. They attack by pummeling to the ground or swiping their hands. The common thing with the Madness Combat universe is that everyone needs some Crest 3D white strips. We arrive at the lab and fight 2 unfinished mags and meet Gestalt. Gestalt is a very big boy and is literally made out of metal. Like literally, I couldn't do any damage to him and I thought it was weird until I found out 5 minutes later I was actually supposed to run away from him when the battle started. We cannot fight level 100 Mafia boss. We are still level 1 Chruch. We are actually supposed to lure him into this room where we trap him under this heavy thing. Gestalt will try to push it up and these 4 boxes pop up. We have to attack each of these boxes before he lifts the thing back up. When we do that, this heavy thing pushes him where he falls to his presumable demise. Presumably. Hey guys, Sanford and Deimos again. We are introduced to new friends, the Fanatics. They are actually a Harry Potter fan club, so it should be cool to get to know them.
Look at what we got here, Muggles. They clearly didn't read the sign.
Fanatics are low on the hierarchy chain. They usually attack with bladed melee weapons or throwables that can easily be dodged. The Prophets wear a duck-like mask with a pink skull painted on it. They attack by throwing hooks like Sanford. They also wear a white and pink hood and robes. In Harry Potter, we got Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and I guess they also added a new house called White Power. There's a part in the stage with lava you can actually fall into. There is no invisible walls protecting you from your carelessness this time.
You know the saying, third time's the charm.
Honestly, this is just pathetic. This is just not the field for you guys.
In this battle, Church is equipped with an electrified trident, which can extend to grab and attack targets. Oh hell no, the way Church just folded Deimos like that is absolutely disrespectful. Deimos, get your shit together. Jorge is armed with a cannon that fires Nesquik chocolate milk out of the hole, but might contain several toxins that no humans should ever consume in their lifetime. Despite wanting a fair fight, Merc reinforcements will storm into the area once one of them falls. After that, we find a new enemy called the Abominations. Well, you got that right. Abominations have their arms strapped down like the mentally ill patients. Abominations will dropkick their enemies to disarm them and knock them down. When you go underground, there is no light sources, and there are a lot of abominations. When we turn on the lights, they all run away, but we only have 20 seconds for it to stay that way. Next, we meet the Grave Seekers, who are also part of the Harry Potter fan club. They are usually armed with shovels and can charge up attacks or dig underground in order to get in close distance with their enemies. Dr. Crackpot, also known as Fence. I don't know. Dr. Crackpot sounds like a cooler name. He's a former lead scientist of the Nexus Core.
Did you know if you want to marathon the Harry Potter movies, the 8 films duration would amount to about 20 hours? Of course, you would have to take a few breaks in between, so it's not advisable to watch all films in one go.
Wow, that's crazy. But nobody asked.
How dare you disrespect Harry Potter?
He shoots lean projectiles at you, and is probably the most sane Harry Potter fan. After he fights us on ground level, he brandishes his Harry Potter textured sword and starts teleporting everywhere.
Filthy muggles are a waste of my time.
Looks like it's time to hit the road.
We are now being chased by Gestalt, and now are forced to play Subway Surfers. Gestalt is chasing the carts and throwing himself onto each and every one of the carts. There are fences that the game warns me about, but I keep hitting them every single time and I don't know how to avoid them. We enter the fluid purge control, and we are in a big ass elevator that's probably big enough to fit at least 500 grunts. Then a big cybernetic puppy thing drops down. She is extremely fast with her flying, shooting lasers that will keep players on their toes. Don't worry, she doesn't bite, she's just super playful today. This stupid canine does this thing where it leaps up in the air, and no matter how much I dodge, she still manages to hit me. Asshole. Then we meet Tricky. That's Dr. Hoffnar's new name.
Go to the science tower. Christoph and Hank are waiting for you, Gus.
See, I told you he was a nice man. So we enter the science tower, the heart of Project Nexus. The boys are all together. Sanford argued that we shouldn't destroy the Nexus Core because it could mean the end of the world. But Jebus says, no, he could restore the Project Nexus to how it was supposed to run and destroy the Nexus Core. And everyone was like, okay, our plan of sneaking into the science tower or something failed, so we have to fight through it. The Blackguard, who is actually black and red. He is invulnerable to any damage, and his favorite hobby is to defy the laws of gravity. Then Deimos need to hack a nearby terminal to release the lead robots to explode him. And then we have to grab a fire axe to break crates. Each one of them will contain 1 C4, and we need 3 C4s to put on his back to blow him up. When we defeat the Blackguard, the 2 guards in the back just walk away. We team up with Jebus and Deimos, and Gestalt forces us to play Subway Surfers with him once again. He lures us into the Hive, a mag that is held down by wires and is force-fed children through the wires. He opens his stomach and launches 5-year-olds at us. Evil Pyrocynical will be like, this is not hot. The Hive loses powers as it attacks the glowing green vent. On its backpack, it will change yellow, then red, then shut off. The stomach will involuntarily open, which gives us the opportunity to deal damage to his poor intestines. I got this weapon called the D-Cannon that shoots purple substance and is a bit overpowered. We enter an arena with helicopters circling the building. We stand battling the same enemies we've been introduced to in this level, with Gestalt on the sidelines tormenting us. There's the point where this fight just becomes completely impossible. We can actually just straight up run away. Now we get to play in the same room as the boys. Finally, I get to deal with 3 brain-dead AIs. Finally, I took the walk to Poland boss fight. You fight a bunch of machines in this arena. A bunch of machines that are a bit demeaning. A bit fiending, perhaps. Like they Keenan, might I add. Although, I suggest you don't lean into the lake of water contaminated with purple food coloring, because you will regret it. Phobos is dead. And I'm surprised his corpse hasn't been decomposed, although it is unknown how long Jebus had killed him. Jebus is getting ready to restore the Nexus core to its intended purposes. Until...
We are back, and this time you guys are going to die.
So who are these guys?
Here you know what we will.
It's the finale. We are finally face to face with this beast. These plugs fall down, and I have to plug these in to electrocute him and deal him some damage. My favorite Gestalt attacks is when he slaps his fist on the ground, having his tentacles reaching from the floor, grabbing you by the leg, and transporting you into the dimensions of the interesting genre of cute or anime movies. Now all of a sudden, you are the protagonist of 1996 Alien from the Darkness. Next, we throw the plug into the outlet that is like 10 feet high from us, and every time I'm able to get this in flawlessly. This is the move that truly made LeBron James cry. Next, we enter the easiest phase, where we get a rocket launcher with unlimited ammo. That was extremely hard, am I right, guys?
The Among-Us imposter.
Go back to hell, Phobos. We got a job to finish.
Very amusing, Christoph. Are those your little minions staring at me over there?
So, when did we get to kill this thing already?
Or without you is worth any cost, Phobos.
How pathetic. I will rip every single one of your heads off your body and turn your brain into meat stew. Then I will piss on your rotting corpse using my huge 15-inch schlong. Step aside, peasants. A god stands before you. Fuck you.
Phobos installed hacks on his computers. This motherfucker is teleporting everywhere, phasing through me, disarming my ass, and the fact that I'm still beating his ass is pathetic. After that, I laid Gestalt to rest.
What was that for? We need that guy.
Alright, let's now destroy Project Nexus. But first we need to look at some Hank and Tricky fan art. 10 minutes of useless information about Meta's comment that you didn't know.
What are you talking about?
Bet you didn't know this.
Are you trolling us? Because now is not the time for it.
Something is telling me that there's a problem between us.
Hell yeah, there is, because you're acting crazy right now.
You know what? Fuck you too.
Hank is armed with the classic simple AR-15 American style. Go white boy, go.
Whoa, Hank.
I'm not going to let anyone run this mission. I will not hesitate to eliminate those in my way.
What the? Sanford.
He should have listened to us.
So, what's next?
Like, baby, are you done yet, man? It's what we used to have. The way you change and plan, doing it all wrong, alright. I swear to God, I'm gone and I ain't coming back.
No way is that Crinkles the creator of Madness Combat.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
You guys have been doing the same thing for 20 years. Like, why can't you just save the world or just end it already? Plus, I just want a reason to be in this video, so fucking no more cliffhangers.
What?
Baby, don't go slow, go faster, no. Baby, don't go slow, go faster, no. Don't go slow, go faster. Baby, don't go slow, go faster, no. Go slow, go fast, you know something new to me. Just 'cause you feel me, that's not what you do to me. I cannot look better, I'm alright now, I'm alright now, I'm falling out, can't touch that, I can't go right now, I'm gone right now, I'm coming back, I swear to God, I'm way too fucked up, that I'm way too fucked up, yeah, I'm way too fucked up, that I'm way too fucked up, yeah, I'm way too fucked up, way too fucked up, way too fucked up, way too fucked up, where the fuck is going down? I can't feel my face in a different state when I can't hear the sound, I can't say in this place, it's every day, I fucking hate this now, things I can't erase, the things I made, but I'm still here right now, when I can't be found, I had to keep that shit in the bed, I'm not too fast, my foot on the can, I'm nearly my dance with the lights all black, never gonna go, new day, new bag, new bitch, no rest in it, I've had, always been the same, but I've been through that, but I ain't had no shit that I had, every day can't change, I can never go back, like who the fuck in the fight right now, won't come around, tell the bitch right down, you better get loud when they hear the sound, my favorite can't take my crown, like who the fuck in the fight right now, won't come around, tell the bitch right down, you better get loud when they hear the sound, I take my
Project Nexus cannot be fixed. Nevada, the state of Nevada is over. Maybe it's for the best.
Baby, don't go slow, go faster. No, don't go slow, go faster. Baby, don't go slow, go faster. Feast your eyes on the face of death. I'm away my life, on my final breath. I don't give a fuck about the shit that's said. Baby, I know you meant those takes. You say you waste my time, but you never met these